All right, today we're bending hardline. We're gonna get the chassis plumbed up today. I got something to drink. Stayed up a little later than I anticipated last night. Last night was Friday night bowling league. Whew, it tends to happen. But we got some stuff to calm down these hot pipes. We're gonna pick our routing and we'll get her plumbed up today. All right, let's pick our routing. We've got the braided lines on. We've got them connected on each side. I'm not sure if that's how I'm going to keep them, but for right now, that's going to work just fine. We're just going to rough all this stuff in. And this one on as well. Pulled the old brackets up off of the car over there. We got them sandblasted and painted. We got them put on over here. If you guys notice, on the passenger side caliper, brake line is in the bottom port. Over here on the driver's side, the brake line is in the top port. On these SSBC calipers, this bottom port is metric, this top port is standard. So when you take this and flip it and go to the other side, it reverses the ports. I thought about having one metric fitting and one standard fitting so both lines are in the same spot. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I want to keep this as cohesive as possible. We don't need to confuse myself or anybody else who gets this. I think what we're going to do for routing, the factory runs off this junction block here. They come down along over in here, up. They kind of swing around out over this way and then into the line. We might keep something very similar to that. I think maybe I'll drill and tap some holes. We'll put a clip and a clip. We'll have to see when we get to that point. So I want to get from here. If we're going to run down along this frame rail, somewhere in this area here, we're going to have a coupler. Back here, we run from our flexible line right here. I think what I'm going to do, so I think we're going to come along this line here and then to come down this frame, this side of the frame. I think what the factory did, I think they just went right up on top here because you got body mounts that sit here, so it holds the body up off where you can access the line and get them pulled out. I may go that route. I may come down through here and try and shoot this gap and come down along in here, and then I can fasten the line right up to the frame. I don't want these lines bouncing around. Keep them nice and secure. And then for the back, we got our 9-inch back here. So I think what I'm going to do back here, climb over this frame. I think we'll come out of these, if I can find my tape. We'll come out of here. This bracket, I made it work. Had them laser it out and then I just connected it on. I don't think I'm going to come right down to the pumpkin here. I think I'm going to try and stay off of it a little bit. I don't want the lines rattling and bouncing off of here. It's just another noise. This car already has enough noises. We don't need to add any more to it. And I think we'll just come down along in here, come up, come over right in here, and I'll clamp it on the axle tubes. We'll do the same over here on this side. All right, let's get our tube out and we'll start picking our path. All right, these are some of the tools I'm using to bend my lines on the chassis. This right here, that's a 3/16 bender. It's just a cheap bender I bought. Works really good. I think I paid like 35 bucks for this. This here is a more expensive one. This is a bender for a 1/4-inch line. The thing I like about this is this handle will actually move and get out of the way. Pair of sheet metal pliers. This right here works out really, really well. I'll show you how I use that. I'll make a quick little video. I'll bend up a quick line and show you what I use that for. And then of course we got tubing cutter, and then we got a combination square. Use that a lot. And then when you need to, from time to time, sometimes you got to bring in the dead blow. So these are basically the tools I use to get hard lines. All right, so we finally got the brake lines ran and routed. I'll show you guys what we did here. So we're up at the front. Our brackets in. Up to our distribution block here for the front. We got one that'll run up to the master cylinder. Actually, probably into the line lock, then the master cylinder. Over here, the front cross member, up and across. I like how this all turned out. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it follows the frame pretty good down in through there. Come along. This is going to feed our rear. Got a bracket here I need to secure yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to stay behind this or come in front. There's our union. Another piece we got to fasten yet. Other than that, we are pretty damn close to being at home plate on this. Get you over here to the rear end. Not too bad. Just use some zip ties to secure it to the housing. I'm going to put a little piece of rubber under here, just so we're not rattling up against the rear end housing. This line here on the passenger side, I had to bend a little differently. That bracket I made where that union sits there, that distribution block, pushes everything over towards the passenger side. Plus this gusset sits a little further back. So we had to do our bends a little differently there, but I'm all right with that. I don't think it looks too gaudy. So yeah, here we go. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Hopefully I've got everything out of the way, tucked in nice and tight. If we have to make a little minor adjustments here and there, we will. But I think the next thing we're going to do, I think we're going to get the motor and transmission sitting in the frame. I want to get the headers and everything sitting in here before I go ahead and bend this line right here. This will run in, as far as I know, it's going to run into a proportioning block that I've got. And so I think we might just bring that kind of up over in here and then either zip up right there and kind of have both these lines that go to the front and back kind of shoot up the same spot, make it look uniform. Okay, so I got my piece of line here, and I'm just going to make a mark. I'm not bending this anything in particular. I want to show you what I use these sheet metal pliers for. So I'm just going to come in. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I'm just going to come in, make a random mark. Got my mark put on there. Combination square out of there. Grab my bender. I want that mark to be my center line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that out. I'm going to line that up with my R on my bender. Get her like so. Now let's say I have kind of a weird angle that I need to put on this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend a regular 90 degree. So there we go. Get our 90 degree bent, put on. Take a combination square, come in and make sure that you're at a 90. And as you can see here, maybe I need a little bit more bend in there to get that at a true 90. And your line's always going to spring back a little bit. Sometimes you got to go a little further. So bring that a little bit more in. Bring this back up. Checker. Seems to look pretty good. Put it in a vise. Grab it at your first bend. Take a pair of sheet metal pliers. kind of grab right around the radius and on the flat part of your tube. You just want a light grip on this tube. And then just take it and then just twist. Twist her down until you get the desired angle that you're looking for. It's that simple. It works good. It allows you to pull the line off. You can do a little bit at a time, get where you need to get to. I use this trick all the time. Another tip from your Uncle Larry. Now, as you've seen in the video, I didn't put any footage in of me bending hard lines. This isn't something that took me a half hour to do. This took me some time to do. And what little footage I did have, none of it was really worth using. There are some areas where I'm going to have to bend up some short pieces of line. If you guys want to see a little more in depth on the tips and tricks I use to have good looking hard lines, let me know and I'll be more than happy to do it. But as for now, I want to thank you guys for watching and we'll see you later. Yeah, I like this.